the true self. Om, peace, peace, peace. Let us feel our true, divine, perfect nature, perfect self in our heart as a luminous spark, the center of our consciousness. Let us concentrate on that. As we concentrate, this luminous point becomes bigger and bigger, brighter and brighter. The whole existence is absorbed in it. There is no limitations of time, space, and causation. It is stillness absolute. Peace and bliss absolute. Love absolute. Let us feel this infinite, absolute, luminous existence is condensed in the form of Lord Krishna in our heart, scattering the radiance of knowledge, bliss, and love. Om, peace, peace, peace. So, dear friends, let us begin the 25th class on this great text, Srimad Bhagavatam, with our usual opening chant. जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि. That from whom creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe happens, who is both the instrumental and material cause of it, who is omniscient, is the only one having self-mastery, being the one independent entity, who illumined the mind of Brahma with the Vedic revelation, whose wisdom is the wonder of even the greatest sages, in whom the world of the three gunas subsist, just as the combination of materials like fire, water, and earth subsist in their cause without changing their elemental nature, in whose consciousness there is nothing false. On that supreme we meditate. So, on that supreme truth, we meditate. This is Bhagavatam, meditation on supreme truth. And this supreme truth here is seen as manifested as Lord Krishna. Krishna playing on the banks of river Yamuna, one great sage known for his non-dualistic commentaries and treatises on Vedanta, Madhusudan Saraswati. He says, well, those who like to meditate on that non-dual, formless entity, let them have that, let them do that. But ours actually is that very Brahman, that very absolute, all-pervading truth, playing as a beautiful child on the banks of Yamuna. That is the Brahman that we adore. So there is no distinction, that very Brahman, but it is now in the form of a human being as a form of child, and you can see that child also grows. This is the called the Leela, or the play divine of a God appearing as human being. You will see this question very often asked to Sri Ramakrishna, that how can the all-pervading infinite Brahman be compressed in a 3-cubit body? It is impossible. I cannot believe that God can take a human form, because God is infinite and human being is just a small quantity, a small space. How can that be condensed in this small 3-cubit space of human body? Now, with our very limited intellect, our intellect is very limited, but our ego about it is really infinite. So we think that We cannot do something, therefore God also cannot do that. God, all pervading, immanent in everything, and all powerful. You see, it is all powerful God. It is what can that God not do? It is why can you, if you limit that God cannot do this and can do this, then it seems that you are superior to God. You decide what God should do and what God shouldn't do. So God is then not omnipotent. God is just only can do this, cannot do that. How do you say that God cannot incarnate in a human body? What you can honestly say is that, and that is I find many people in United States, and they say like that, well, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Yeah, they say sometimes they want to say it is impossible, but they want to be more polite, and they say therefore I don't know how it happens that it is. Yeah, that much we can say. I don't know. I cannot do it. But that doesn't mean God cannot do it. God can do it. This is the God in human form. So that is how the sages who have gone beyond the realm of ignorance, realm of all names and forms, have seen that, and thus they have absolutely no objection in accepting this, that yes, that very God becomes a human being. So we see that last time, you say, we were discussing this very important uh, part. There is some smudge here on the first line. What is it? I don't know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Take it out. Yeah. Mm. Huh? Now it is all right. Yeah, yeah. So, Uddhava was a companion of Bhagwan Krishna. And we saw that Vidura met him on the bank of Yamuna. Vidura moved everywhere after being banished from Hastinapur, and then he was not keeping abreast of all the happenings in the world for quite a long, long time. He was not reading the newspapers, if there were newspapers those days. There must have been newspapers even those days, but of a different type. So he didn't keep abreast of all that, all that news. And then he heard when he came to that great pilgrimage place, Prabhas, that his clan, that is the clan of the Kurus, is almost all completely killed. Only five Pandavas are still alive. Yudhishthir has assumed the kingdom. And then he also vaguely heard about the demise of Krishna, but was not believing that. And then when he at the on the banks of Yamuna, in the Yamuna region, again he met Uddhava, the childhood companion of Krishna. Right from the age 5, his mind was devoted to God. The Bhagavatam mentions that it is that uh, chapter 3, yeah, this volume 3. So, there it is. He met Uddhava and asked, well, tell me all the news. What happened to Krishna? Are they all the companions okay? I feel that yes, I will be able to hear all this from you. Please tell me. They were very good devotees of Krishna, both Vidura and Uddhava. Uddhava was a constant companion of Krishna, and Krishna had told him to leave before this destruction happened. Just at the on the eve of that, he left for pilgrimage. So, uh, when this question was put naturally, Uddhava was not able to immediately answer. How could he? All those events just were bottlenecking there on the mind. The emotions were just surging up. Uh, Imagine, Bhagavatam says that being thus questioned about the dearest of his dear ones, the great devotee Uddhava was unable to speak for some time owing to the surging emotions that overtook him as he thought of the Lord and Master. This Uddhava, and now why these emotions would be so much? This Uddhava, even as a little boy of 5, had refused to take his breakfast when the mother called him because he was then immersed in the in his boyish play of the worship of the Lord's image. Boyish play means yes, it is little children. It is difficult to feed them, and they run away. They don't care about eating and so forth when they are immersed in play. So they run to play. But what is special here is this boy. The speciality is his play is worshipping the Lord's image. So that is how he grew up. Now he is an old man, but all these memories of Lord Krishna, his childhood sports, everything was surging up. And so, what can he say? You see? So, it is, he was, Vidura had inquired about everyone, but it is, he says, well, what can I say? When the lila, the works of the embodiment and the works of the unborn and actionless are only for the destruction of evil ones and protection of the world. There can be no other purpose. There is nothing else that that divine manifestation that God has nothing to attain here. It is only for the destruction of evil. The God manifests as human being and finishes the work, and then the body dissolves. Nothing has really happened. So he describes it that it is. Uh, he says that. Uh, his Krishna's leaving the body is a misfortune for everybody. All his companions and this world is missing it. As the fish do not recognize the glory of the moon so long as they see the reflection of it in water. Yeah, that is how it have. This analogy had been given earlier also. That it is Uddhava, who was very close to Krishna, is narrating all this. That it is they like the fish. They feel that this is a nice fish. The moon reflected, you see. It is like us. Is it like us? Yes and no. Well, it is seen right amongst us. Seems quite shiny and good to play with. But then it is really uh, in the sky. The moon is not actually in the water. So when the moon sets, the fish who just feel confused. What happened? He who was all powerful, who took us across so many difficulties and calamities, who was always a guide and protector for us. What suddenly happened to him? Well, that is how the embodied beings like us who do not assume human form or any form uh, out of that free will. Rather, we are, because of our karma, our desires, and so forth, have to take the birth as human beings or whatever. We are identified with the body. I am this. Rarely a glimpse shines forth that I am not really body. Who am I? And then the inquiry, if uh, pursued with lot of perseverance and efforts, takes us to our true nature. So, the divine. But divine manifests as human being out of free will. There is no karma, there is no compulsion. It is that divine now is like this, got into water. So he says that these fish, taking it to be only one amongst themselves, so did Yadus fail to realize that Sri Hari himself was till then staying with them. It is very difficult, almost impossible to believe this, to accept this, in spite of so many evidences, so much proof, and still we take it that that is like us. Yeah, nobody else. Look at the lives of great such incarnations of God. They were taken as ordinary human beings in spite of the tremendous that gap that could be seen between them and us. But because we are attached to this particular form, and therefore whatever has similar form we take is like us. Yeah, if it talks like a duck, walks like a duck, then it is duck. Looks like a human being, walks like a human being, talks like a human being, is like us, a human being. Mm. So uh, it becomes very difficult for them now to fathom that reality. He in whom all the worlds reside was regarded only as a Yadava chief by the members of Yadava clan, in spite of their being intelligent in understanding people's minds, of possessing high status as citizens, and of living together for long with the Lord. All that doesn't really make them feel that this is God who has come in this form for the benefit of us. Those devotees whose minds are absorbed in Sri Hari, the Supreme Spirit, are never confused by the words and attitudes of those who are under the influence of Lord's Maya. Hmm. If the mind is fixed on Lord, then they don't feel confused about it at all. They would always see that these are all the actions in this divine play. They are that does not tarnish or affect in any way the real, true, supreme divine nature of that being. So they do not get fooled by these actions. It is, for example, as a little child, that Krishna was being, chastised and disciplined by his very, very loving foster mother, Yashoda. And then as little ones, Krishna also was acting very well like little one, very mischievous. The little ones, 2 years old and so forth, have to be mischievous, you see. That is the natural way of that little kids. They have to run about, throw things about. If they are told don't do something, they would go and do it. So that is nothing unnatural about it. So Krishna also was like that. And the little children, it is a biological thing that they get an that uh, desire to eat the earth, to eat the mud. It is probably to get some calcium out of it or so whatever. So they go and eat mud. Now the problem with that is lot of germs also go in, and so the big job that used to be, I don't know in modern United States, but in my times in India, it used to be always a difficult thing to keep the children from eating mud or chewing on something like, yeah, it is. Yeah, a little child I know was therefore, not allowed to go outside except with parents to see that the fellow doesn't eat anything like mud. And then he used to just therefore stand in the balcony and look around here. The parents thought that the fellow is not eating any mud. And to their horror, they discovered after about 2 weeks or 3 weeks that the wall, parapet wall there has all these marks, chewing. A lot of it is eaten. So, hey, you fellow, you were doing like this. Yeah, so it is quite, they somehow find the way. So this little Krishna also was caught eating mud. And this Yashoda with this angry looking face. You are again at it, you rascal. And so, why? And Krishna said, no, no, I didn't eat it. You didn't? Come on, open your mouth. I see what you were doing. Come on. And now the cat will be out with the bag. Come on, open. And this little Krishna opens the mouth. Yashoda looked in, expecting to see the mud sticking around. And she was just taken aback. Imagine the amazement, the undescribable wonder of what she saw in that little mouth. The whole universe, all the sun, stars, moon, everything was in that little mouth. She thought for us, what is this? Wow, this is again, she had seen many such miracles already in the life of this child, but forgot all of it. This also she forgot and thought, well, I have to take care of this little one, naughty one, and so forgot that is a divine being. So that is how they knew and they didn't know. That is how this continues in such divine manifestations. So it is said here that it is, he tells that all this is they we are not going to read everything. It is very fascinating that how Uddhava's those emotions are coming up. And when you think about somebody whom you know, not that everything manifests chronologically. Do you know that? That it is one incident of childhood would come, and before that is gone, another incident somewhere after 25 years springs up. Then another springs up. There is no rhyme or reason in that. It is like all these events are being thrown up together, and they are just in the sky of emotions or sky of mind. They just get scattered, and uh, thus Uddhava's mind was remembering all these things. So it is uh, uh, that Brahma had exhausted all his skills. He made all the other bodies, but how he could make the body of the Lord? He could not. So it is there is that incident in the Vraja that is brought out. Suddenly he thinks the incident in the Yudhishthira's Rajasuya sacrifice, that how Krishna killed Shishupala and others who were there opposing the suggestion of great people there, that Krishna should be given the honor of being worshipped as the first one at this sacrifice. So, but this Shishupala opposed it. So, right there, Krishna killed him. And the glory of that is that Krishna, when kills, that is described here, that he gives them liberation. Those who even think of Krishna as enemies, they also, because of the constant thinking of Krishna, they too get liberation. When Krishna's those weapons strike to kill them, they have the vision of his smiling face, and thus they get the same liberation that the yogis would get with constant meditation and controlling the senses and practicing austerities would get. That is the glory of Krishna. In whatever way you come in close touch with Krishna, that's it. In whatever form, whatever way, the result is liberation. Like Sri Ramakrishna would say that look, if it is a piece of say cake, I am changing the word a little bit. If it is a piece of cake, and if you are eating it, holding it, say horizontal or vertical, or you are eating just some corner of it, whatever piece, in whatever shape it would be, it will still taste the same sweet. So here also you can see, in whatever way you come in contact with God, the point is that you should come in contact with God, and thus the effect of it comes in your life. So he says that it is his Maya, in his Maya, where all are opposites. And there are uh, the pious people, they are also part of that Lord's Maya. And there are the evil ones, the demons. They also are part of the same this nations or Maya, the play of the world thrown up. They are all same. And Lord assumes a human form. For what? To kill or destroy the evil ones of his own Maya, to protect the good ones again of his own Maya. It is this is the glory of it. Very difficult, friends, to appreciate that very Krishna. He Uddhava remains that it is so very painful to think of, this Lord had to take birth in a prison cell. You all know this story, but let us recollect that there was this king Ugrasena. He had a son Kamsa and a daughter Devaki. Now, this Devaki was a very pious girl, young lady, and Kamsa was evil minded, and so as he became young, he dethroned his own father, put him in the jail, and Devaki was married to another pious king, Vasudeva. So, this as Kamsa was taking accompanying Vasudeva and Devaki to the home of Vasudeva. That is how the custom is in that community, in most of the Indian community, that as after the wedding, the uh, bride goes to live with the husband's home. So they were going. Kamsa then heard a voice from the heavens that, you see, your sister, whom you love so much, her eighth child is going to kill you. And this fellow, naturally, we do everything to protect ourselves. We protect ourselves. Whatever we call as I, we are trying to protect that. That is why there is what is called Fifth Amendment, isn't it? You are not required to witness against yourself. So it is because this is a quite pervasive human tendency to protect oneself. So, and anything that is going to kill, let me nip it in the bud. So, although he was loving his sister. Her child is going to be my killer, eighth child, whatever. Let me finish her here itself. And then that will solve the problem. If she is not there, there will be no progeny coming from her, and then I will be safe. Nobody is safe in this world, but we think that this is, let me get rid of it. This is, but then Vasudeva said, I promise you, don't kill her. She is just newly married, sister of yours. Uh, I will, give you the eighth child. As soon as I am born, that child is born, you can take the child. I will keep you informed. And Kamsa thought, okay. But then Narada wanted that Kamsa to commit more evil to get more proper punishment, there is the particular death sentence. So, unless the crime is of that level, the death sentence cannot be given. So, therefore, Narada tells, Are you stupid? You heard eighth, but from the beginning or from the end? Who knows, it may be from the end, if you count, that would be eight, or from the beginning, where to count from. So don't just rely on that. And therefore, Kamsa decided to kill every child born of Devaki. Now, to see that they don't run away, he put them in a prison. And as the children were getting born, the seventh, the seventh, somehow or other, through some divine will, the fetus was gone to the womb of that Yashoda, Nanda's wife. And then when Kamsa came, uh, he saw that there is no child born. He was told that it was stillborn. And so, no, he went away, waiting for the eighth child. And in the prison, the eighth child, this Lord of the universe, took birth right at midnight. The one who is ever free is taking birth in a prison cell. Think of that. That does not make him bound. Even any other, the prison of the world cannot bind the God. So, what happened then? As soon as the fellow was born, it was raining heavy, and the little child, as it were, indicated, and Vasudeva put him in a basket right as the rains were descending, took him toward that door of the cell. And then, as Krishna's touch, it opened up. All the guards, they had fallen asleep. And then he ran to go to his friend's house across the river Yamuna. See, there is this town Mathura. You can still, they show you now how real and all that. Please don't question me on that. That there is still a place shown that where Krishna was born, the prison cell and all that. So, but now where he was going to be taken, yes, that Vraja was on the other bank of Yamuna. So he rushed to the Yamuna, but because of the rains, the river was in speed, was flooded, and how to go now? But he stepped in, and then as the waters were rising, as they touched the toe of Krishna, it started receding, and then he deposited that child uh, to his friend's wife, their Yashoda. Yashoda had given birth to another child, and that was a girl child. So he kept this Krishna's there and brought the girl child, thinking that, seeing that it is girl, and it was told that only the son would be killing. Kamsa will not kill this little girl. But then, as it happened, that Kamsa was not ready to take any chances. So he just tried to kill this little girl but escaped from his grapes, and then announced as she was escaping, "Hey, your killer is growing at the home of Nanda in Vraja." In Vrindavan. That Vrindavan is a big area, one part of that is Vraja. And then Kamsa got so alarmed. So, you see, then he sent many emissaries, demons, to kill Krishna. Krishna has started growing. But let us not lose this sight. It is the God all pervading in this human form. So, as it started growing, then first was sent uh, a demoness who could produce the poisonous milk and could kill, therefore, anybody suckling. So she took the form of a very pretty woman and then went to this village, and then she was uh, Kamsa had told whosoever is like that newborn child, just breastfeed that fellow. If all are killed, I don't bother. I don't mind. But that fellow has to be killed. But she saw that everybody was adoring one child there, and she knew that that must be the one. And so she goes to breastfeed that child. And then Krishna did not get affected by that poison. Instead, he sucked out the life from this demoness. So it is like that. That was taken out. So Krishna then was playing there. He became a cowherd boy there, like it was all the clan of cowherds. So they had cows, they were tending cows. So there were so many demons assume different forms uh, to hide themselves, and who were sent by Kamsa were destroyed by him easily, as dolls by children. This is all Uddhava is remembering. And as Vidura is standing in front of him, all this is just like the vapor rising from a boiling pot of water was just rising as like effervescence in his mind. So he said that I feel extremely pained at heart whenever I think of his making obeisance to his parents and apologizing them. And thus, O father, O mother, owing to fear of Kamsa, we have been forced to be ungrateful to you by not doing our duties towards you. Please pardon us for the same. This is an incident after they, this little child and his brother, they went to Mathura and killed Kamsa. So, and then freed uh, and the parents Vasudeva and Devaki also freed the king Ugrasena, and Ugrasen became the king. Not that Krishna didn't take any kingdom. So Ugrasen again assumed his kingdom. But at that time, Krishna and his elder brother Balram, they prayed and begged forgiveness. See the humility. Now is God incarnate, but to look at the behavior. One can see it in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, that how as a child they become they training for us how we should behave as children. There is there are the you know there is the decorum that you should respect the elders, you should salute your parents. Yeah, I used to salute my parents every day, touching their feet. So it is, what is this? It is important, friends, that it is to show your indebtedness to them, your that how you received all this from them. So feel that, and Krishna shows that we could not do it. Please forgive. And then fear of Kamsa. Now this who can kill everybody is now saying because of fear of Kamsa. Just think about it. So there were so many things, so many these different demons. They came, and then uh, we can look into all these various stories. One little one was that like uh, big snake entered in the waters there. He was the name of that very poisonous snake was Kalia, and then the cows, when they took water drank water from that particular place, the cows would die, and the whole river and the other region. The description is very graphic. The poison was so strong that they even the trees around there were dying. So Krishna went into it and danced on the head of this snake. It is this snake, it is an allegory like the desires, they keep on springing up. And then uh, uh, when you, how to subdue them, let God dance on them, and God will take out all the poison from that those desires. So the desires, the lust, all those things, they go away by this, as Krishna takes away. This is also this all the 10 hoods are like the 10 sense organs through which the desires manifest. So they have to be subdued for a spiritual aspirant. They as Krishna later in Bhagavad Gita tells Arjuna, Tasmat tvam indriyani adau niyamya bharatarshabha. O Arjuna, therefore, adau, in the beginning, focus on control of the senses. So, That is a must. Then there is the story of a demon coming as a big bull, and Dhenukasura. Then there is the story another demon came taking the form of a horse. So Krishna jumped on that horse, and then this unruly horse was uh, killed after controlling it. Some the organs are described as the horses in Kathopanishad. You see, they are if they are turbulent, nobody can progress in spiritual life if they are not under control. If they do whatever they like, then you cannot proceed in spiritual life. So they that uh, has to be brought under control. So that is an incident, the well-known incident of Ras Leela that also happened in this childhood. Uddhava is remembering all these things. So many aspects of the life of this God appearing in human form. This is something that is to be felt, friends, that it is there is this Shri Krishna's Leela going on, as Swami Vivekananda says that we don't know whether that happened really or not really or whatever. We don't want to think of that. But there is the Leela of Krishna in this Vrindavan of heart is always going. So let us feel that presence of the divine there, and then we will be able to appreciate this. So, in the next chapter, this will continue. Mostly, there will be the incidents about Krishna's more adult life. It is this, although was interspersed by some incidents of the adult life. Next will be chapter will be more or less the adult life. Now Uddhava has become a little calm down. That effervescence has reduced, and he is now able to tell more coherently. So we will see that next Friday they what Uddhava continues to tell. So let us conclude with the this concluding verse, and then let us meditate on this for a half a minute, and then if you have any comments or questions, welcome. निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुर्मुहुः रसिका भुवि भावुकाः. O devotees, quaff, quaff to intoxication this nectar of the fruit of the tree of Vedas, flowing from the mouth of the great sage Shukra and mixed with the ambrosia from his words. Any questions?
There is one question. Being such a jnani, Uddhava was in distress to part with Lord's body. So, what is the way for us? Doing japa and prayer, of course, satsang. Tell us some more, Maharaj.
Well, Uddhava was distressed, but without losing the knowledge of the divinity. This distress, you can see, even Holy Mother felt so much of distress after Sri Ramakrishna left the body. This is the matter of intense love that was coming through that form. So it is very different from the grief that one experiences when an ignorant person experiences when some near and dear leaves the body. It is with the knowledge that this was only the Lord's appearance. The Lord never goes anywhere. But you miss the form, you are still carrying on as a human being, you have still the mind, the emotions, and so you remember it, you think of it, and then those feelings do make a mark, an upsurge, but then they do not tarnish the all knowledge of the all pervading reality, knowledge that I am the true self, that does not get affected in these sages. That is the difference between, say, Uddhava remembering Krishna coming and Krishna going. He is therefore, although he is feeling the distress that I am not able to see Ah, Krishna with these eyes, I have to now see Krishna with the mental eyes, not these eyes. So, therefore, that distress alone is mentioned there. It is when we get that divine love, as we get it, you will see that although your mind will still have all those memories and they will make an upsurge. You will start shedding tears, but you will not get confused at all. So, this is the difference that, see, a person becomes person of knowledge doesn't mean, Swami Vivekananda says that that doesn't make that fellow a stone, like, insensitive being. It's very different. That person of knowledge is not like an insensitive being. It is full of all human compassion, love, and so forth, but not bound by those. The difference is that Sri Ramakrishna used to give an example of a rope. If you put fire to a rope, it gets burnt, but still has the shape, the twines are still visible. It looks like a rope, but that rope now cannot bind anymore. So, all this is of that type. Yeah. So, any questions here? Yes, Eze? Please repeat loudly. Chitta. Oh, well, yes. Chitta is the storehouse of impressions. All the impressions, everything that we do or have done, it is getting microprocessed and stored there. That is the chitta, a storehouse. Spiritual heart is the seat of consciousness where one can feel the true self, the truth or God. That is the spiritual heart. Very good question. Yes. So, yeah. So let us conclude with the closing chant. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। हरि हरि बोल, Hari Hari Bol. Krishna Krishna Bol. Krishna Krishna Bol. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल. केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल. केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल.